Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Craig Scott,
Here,
Mark Serbrook,
present.
Ron Vaughn.
Here.
Brad Newbecker.
Here.
Benny David.
Here. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? Commissioner Newbecker,
What's that?
any additions or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you paying attention?
I was,
Whoa, are you paying attention?
I would like to add the GPS positioning system expenditure resolution to unfinished business under 8.
8B,
Yeah, that'll work.
any other additions or corrections to the agenda?
Motion to approve this amendment.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Newbecker to approve the agenda with the stated changes. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, review of minutes, November 22nd, 2022, regular meeting minutes.
I didn't read.
I reviewed those minutes. There was one thing. Let me go back. Where it was. First, I'll say that now. I won't be able to find it. Says here, Commissioner Scott would like the topic of car washing for corrections department put on the committee of the whole. I think was for the sheriff's department, not the corrections.
Sheriff's office, right?
Sheriff's office.
Yeah.
It's down about,
Yeah,
Right there under new business.
Just,
Okay,
9 paragraphs.
any other additions or corrections?
my name was not.
would you like your name taken off of that?
No, that's fine, but it's not in bold print
yeah,
like
there
everybody
isn't.
else.
Because it's not a motion.
There's another correction.
Oh, my.
Commissioner Serbrook,
The 1, 2, 3, third motion by Scott, second by Serbrook. I was not here, so I didn't second the motion.
committee of the whole meeting minutes.
Correct.
Oh. Jeez,
No,
where was I
committee
this
is
day?
not committee of the whole. The
Yeah,
regular
The
meeting.
approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do we recall who seconded that motion?
Could have been me.
So you'll make those changes?
Yeah.
We'll address
that's
that.
the thing.
Any other additions or corrections? Can I have a motion?
I made the motion with changes.
I'll support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Vaughn with support from Commissioner Newbecker to approve the November 22nd, 2022 regular meeting minutes with the stated changes. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes,
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3B, December 1st, 2022, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. You guys had an opportunity to look at those minutes?
I have not, so.
I
Any-
had the opportunity to read more. I will make a motion so that to be accepted.
I'll support that.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook. Commissioner Scott, would you like a few minutes to look at those?
No, go ahead.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Vaughn to approve the December 1st, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, public comment on agenda items only. 1, state your name for the record. 2, speak only to the chairperson. 3, stand behind the podium when speaking. 4, limit comments to 3 minutes or fewer. And 5, follow the direction of the chairperson when speaking. This is for agenda item. So only. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 5D, correspondence. We have correspondence from Michigan Department of Natural Resources related to land review local letter and Eaton County related to auto insurance reform. Those have been received and filed. Item 6, action on consent calendar. Commissioners?
Council wants to.
I think you should be able to do them all, but together, but claims. don't think there was, I think they were all discussed pretty well.
Yes, I would agree. We pretty much dove into those during committee of the whole. I think we had.
So we have item 7A resolution. Oh, I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree.
Commissioner Becker.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Under new business, we have 7A resolution to approve a contract to provide indigent counsel. Item 7B, resolution to appoint members to the Ogemaw County Land Bank Authority Board. Item 7C, resolution to approve increased procurement card limit. 7D, resolution to approve the MERS defined contribution and 457 plan addendum. E, a resolution to amend the Ogemaw County COVID-19 preparedness and response plan. F, resolution to approve driver authorization policy.
Make a motion to approve all the aforementioned resolutions as read by the chair.
Support.
We have a motion, Commissioner Serbrook, with support from Commissioner Newbecker. Is there any further discussion on that?
Aye, aye.
Roll call vote.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Ron Vaughn.
Yes.
Brad Newbecker.
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Item 7G, claims.
You want to take on that other resolution, it's four claims?
It's under unfinished business. We're not there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, that's fine with me.
Claims, we have claims
I looked,
in the
up-
total of $224,999.98. Who reviewed claims?
I reviewed claims
Commissioner Serbrook or Commissioner Scott?
and get to the page here. There was some insurance that was due. I mean, you know, that we have to pay up liability insurance. There was quite a few charges to do with the lawsuits for insurance. Elections, we had a $21,000 bill there. Which basically, you know, because of the past elections. And we had some road patrol car, the new cars had to be outfitted and stuff like that. And there was a charge in the commissary, and I spoke with Tim about it. This here, I thought was a maintenance issue and should have been covered under maintenance. So I think, are we making a change on that, a budget change on that?
My intention right now is at the next meeting, at the COW meeting next week, we have a RFP that's due for a new dryer over at the jail, and that likely will be a commissary purchase. What I'm going to do at that meeting is, once those proposals are in, and Brian Osher will be here too, is to go over the budget that we've adopted for the commissary fund. And probably recommend some changes there. There are some legitimate, absolutely legitimate costs that we put there. For instance, when they buy the materials that the inmates purchase, that money's got to come from someplace. So it comes from commissary, but then the inmates purchase the commodity and it's replenished. There are items like that we can project and actually adopt a budget for it, rather than doing it ad hoc and have just miscellaneous charges coming out of commissary, which is not a way to budget. So I'll use that opportunity next week to go through that and maybe go over some changes a little bit more in depth. There are, like I said, every charge that's coming out of there is legitimate. It's definitely explained. That's not the issue. The issue is we just haven't budgeted for it. We know what's coming out of there. We know with pretty good reason what those costs are going to be over the year. There's no reason to treat that fund any different than any other fund. So maybe once and for all, we'll have that taken care of.
Is there a vehicle purchase on there too for $18,875? Is that what that, how can you purchase a vehicle for $18,000?
Where's that?
Page 9?
Telerad, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's computers for a vehicle,
Oh,
and that was 25,000.
this is 18,000 and then 6,000 for computers for vehicles?
Yep.
Yep.
GPS?
Not yet.
No.
What kind of computers? Like something's,
They have terminals inside the car.
are these for the new vehicles?
The ones you guys just got, right?
Right, the USDA approved cars.
Okay,
For the Tahoes and the truck. And the new tablets do have the GPS capabilities in them as well.
They'd get with, Tracy on making sure that some of these high dollar purchases are entered into asset management.
I see tires on there.
And then tires were another a big purchase. And I mean, that's fine, but we really need to have a little bit more transparency as to which tires are going on each asset. So we can tie those tires to that car. So everything that goes on that car, you can tie back to it. And you can audit it and you know what you got and how long it's gonna last, which will help each department budget better.
Absolutely. What does Nebraska extradition mean?
That is where we had two officers that had to go out to Nebraska to get a couple of people that needed to be extradited back to Michigan for court. So. And then we had Partners in Change School Counseling. That was roughly 12,000. 9,000 of that, I believe, is the contract with them. And that's under childcare. And like Craig said, we had the Travers lawsuit. That was almost $4,000. And then housing had some pretty good, some big hitters there. 20,000, 16,000 and 14,000. And that's all for builders.
Builders.
Yeah, they, yeah.
It's just a pass through, like, a-
Yeah, it's all in the housing budget.
okay,
Yeah, they have different builders, remodel a home or something like that.
I see that $16,518.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now,
I would,
extradition is
that was,
final, the prosecutor pays for it,
yeah, that came out of the prosecuting attorney's office.
right?
So that was fuel, lodging.
Right, the
Time.
sheriff's office just does the service, right?
Yep.
Is that pretty much what it is? Cause I saw where the prosecutor absorbed it.
What contractors at Drew Gillivan Builders? What's that, $7,920? Huh?
Yeah, they are a contractor for the building department. Housing department, I mean, housing.
Well, then why is it separated then? There's a housing services for the 16,000.
Well, it's probably a couple of different jobs. Okay, so Gulliver was housing, right? If we're 7,920,
Mhm.
and then which is the other one you're
There's
talking
a
about?
roofing one on there too.
Hard roofing,
Huh?
hard roofing,
So they're all different projects.
Okay,
Yeah.
but all for housing?
right? Yep. It appears it's a different job, even on the second line, I think. One says Tomaszak, one says Brock. I think those are. Yeah, they'd be a homeowner's name to designate the job. And then you go down farther, like you got housing, consulting services there. And yeah, housing, a lot of money runs through housing. You got one day roofing down there, the next page down. That's a $14,000 charge. On a different job. They do a lot of work.
So is this the repairs to that snowmobile, the 724, or the trailer that we were talking about, the 724-72? It says capital tire, marine ORV, snow supplies, equipment repair and maintenance snowmobile.
What's the vendor?
Pardon me?
What's a vendor? Are you on the vendor list?
I am on page 8 of 16.
8 of 16. Yeah, it's the vendor. Oh, is this like the second one down?
No,
No, how far down?
$724.72. Is it tires?
Tires.
For what?
Yeah, that's capital tires.
Capital tire.
Tires.
Capital
Cost
tire.
of the tires were spread out over the different budget line items because they.
Okay.
Patrol vehicles.
Like two up above it. You got sheriff on one line, you got road patrol on another.
Well, there's a whole bunch of tires way up top here.
Right. Everything got snow tires, right?
Yeah, is it-
So patrol vehicles go to one line, the the sheriff and under sheriff.
How it was labeled
cars.
there, it looks like, or labeled, it looks like it is a snowmobile repair. Do you see that? The next line over.
Well, it's going, I think it's
That's-
going to that budget,
That was the budget that got charged to. The snowmobile.
241. Yeah, snowmobile budget. See,
And the same thing was. the
you got the 724 and then you got it split 241, 53 or 57, three different ways. One went to snowmobile grant, one went to marine grant, one went to
That's probably not for the snowmobile, obviously.
not for the
trailer.
snowmobile itself, but it's for the grant, right? Am I correct in saying that?
No grant there.
For the trailer, right? Tires for the trailer.
The vehicles, trouble vehicles. There's-
So for the vehicle.
Vehicles.
Okay. I didn't know which one it was. Okay.
I've seen some deer feet on there too.
Yeah, that probably was for the nature park.
Yeah.
Right here, ultimate deer. Yeah, yeah, that's the parks. It says parks.
I
Deer
see.
Park. Yeah. It's supplement. It's supplements. We feed them hay and supplements. Really? And I just gave Breck a bill for hay. We're not voting on that right now, but no, we feed the deer hay and supplements, and we get them there from the ultimate. And
Any other questions on claims?
No, I'd move to pay the claims.
We have a motion, Commissioner Serbrook, or excuse me, Commissioner Newbecker. Can I have a
so I'll
support on that?
I'll support.
Support from Commissioner Scott. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Item 8, unfinished business. A car wash procedure. Tim, you have the floor?
I put this on the agenda at your request at the last committee of the whole meeting. You wanted to continue the conversation. I don't know if you were able to secure any kind of a quote.
So I don't see anything on our iPad. Did I miss it?
No.
No information?
Yep, I have it. Folder. right
Oh, come on up, sir. You're in the hot spot.
There wasn't enough time to get it. West End has given us a quote per se. Basically, the basic charge is gonna be $750 for the cars and small SUVs, and $850 for the pickups and the Tahoes, the larger vehicles. We have 16 vehicles total. And you average that out, it's about $8 a vehicle per wash. So you're looking at, if we washed every vehicle once a week, you're looking at about $520 a month. For that. And that's obviously not every vehicle gets washed once a week. Some get washed 4 or 5 times, sometimes the state is pretty clean, it might go a week or two without needing it.
Right.
But they are county vehicles and they are on the back roads and they're not running up down the expressway, so they do get dirty occasionally.
We get through the expressway too.
Yeah, and they can. So
So
basically that's what we got.
Did you check with the other one?
Nope,
Did you try?
nope,
Ran out of time?
nope, I'm not gonna use them because it's not worth spending the money when they don't do a proper job on the vehicles like West End does.
I thought we asked you to. Just chose not to? Okay,
So,
oh. You want to again?
I asked them to, so until I have all the information, I'm definitely not making a decision. I mean, $520 a month is a lot of money. Commissioners, opinions?
Well, I don't think it's that much money when you're talking about it's a maintenance. It's just like maintenance. And if we took an hour and spent an hour per car to wash them, or even a half an hour per car to wash them, I mean, you're talking a lot more money. I'd rather have the officer out on the street, patrolling the streets.
Commissioner Serbrook,
I would agree with Commissioner Scott.
Commissioner Bond,
I agree with Mr. Scott.
Commissioner Newbecker.
Well, I don't think it would hurt to see what the other place can do, but I agree with the fact that Weston does do very good work. So I mean, I don't have a problem with going with them.
And honestly, I can't foresee the other place being that much less. I mean, the water bills from what, they can't do any less because the cost of the water.
I understand that, but we did request that.
Yeah.
And that was stated in the committee of the whole meeting. Also, I had recommended it, seeing about the price of a power washer to see if that's something that we could do as far as inmates doing.
The problem with
personally-
power washers is, first of all, you got inmates. Not saying they can't do a good job, but they're running high power equipment on our cars. They're peeling paint or they're peeling striping off.
Which is same thing can happen running through a car wash.
It can. But
$520 a month for 12 months is how much money?
So 6,000 a year.
So that was your.
if you wash them twice a year, all of them is 12 grand a year. Right, and that's washing each vehicle twice a week. So.
What do you guys want to do? I'm definitely not in favor of it, but that's, I think we should, I think our jobs as commissioners is do our checks and balances, check pricing. Hey, I'm not done, sir.
Oh.
Check all of our pricing, check all of our options before we come up with a solution. I would like to get a price of a power washer. I would like the price of the other car wash. I would like to see West End. So we have all three options in front of us to make a informed decision. I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea, but $520 a month at $6 grand a year. So that's my opinion. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean. If you guys aren't gonna add more money to the budget for us. Then why are we even talking about this? What's already in our budget? That's up to these guys, how that money is spent. And how the maintenance is done on those cars.
Let us work that out administratively. Let the
So-
board have their conversation first and if there's a definite direction that's chosen, then we sit down and figure that out.
Okay,
And ultimately, we can change the budget.
Absolutely.
So
okay.
commissioners, anything you want to do? We want further information? Would you like to go forward with a resolution? What would you like to do?
Well, I think he's laid it out pretty well, and that he's already said, by what he said, they're not gonna watch them if they don't need it. And they're gonna use discretion on when and everything like that. And I think we're all want clean cars. But it was explained last meeting that inmates aren't always available. And I get the high pressure and everything else. The Sally Port at Corrections isn't always available. There's very few prisoners that you're gonna let walk across the street and do it unsupervised.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, I guess if Mark went to jail, we'd let him walk across the street and wash the car.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I just want to
Appreciate the confidence.
Yeah, I got confidence.
Now, whether the sheriff had that confidence in me, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I do. Well, then we'll arrange something. Anyway, I think it's been hashed out pretty good. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get a $3 an hour or a $3 wash discount across town.
Make the motion, Craig.
Are you making the motion?
I wasn't, but
What would you like,
under Ron's advisement, I'm going to.
sir, what would you like your resolution to be?
I make the motion that we go ahead, appropriate to go ahead and start a scheduling of getting cars washed at the auto wash. Approving the sheriff's department
Do we have a maximum on that? Do we have what?
to, not to exceed $600 a month.
That's fair enough. I mean, that's,
Support.
Is that everything?
No, I need you to say that again. And
I authorize the
Proper.
sheriff to go ahead and wash the cars.
to go
that-
ahead and wash the
I'll
cars.
wash
is what you
cars
want
at the
them to
auto,
say?
at the auto wash, yes. We're authorizing the sheriff's department to wash the cars at the auto wash, at the west end auto wash.
Did you get a quote? You have a written quote?
I do.
So maybe just as a suggestion, you could word your motion to accept the quote.
Okay,
Cost not to exceed whatever.
We're accepting something without even seeing the quote.
no, yeah, he's already told me that. He's told me how much it is.
Okay,
$750 and $850.
here you go, sir.
I got that. Okay,
That seems how we have about half and half right now with small vehicles and larger vehicles. That's why I have her at $8 a vehicle.
okay. And I see Julie Crum signed it,
Yep.
and I know Julie Crum personally, and I can attest to her honesty. Yeah, I'll accept the quote there and not to exceed to the sheriff's office, not to exceed $600 in cost per month.
Do you support that?
I did.
We have a motion with support. Is there any further discussion?
Well, I mean, I'm fine with it, but I mean, we can always change it. You know, if we don't-
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can always change it.
We'll see how it works.
Any further discussion?
Start somewhere, right?
Roll call vote.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David.
No.
Craig Scott,
Yes,
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn.
Yes.
Item 8B, GPS. Commissioner Becker, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, I asked to have this put on tonight so we could review it. The resolution to authorize expenditures for county vehicle global positioning system. Tom prepared us a kind of a breakdown of the non-patrol vehicles and also the patrol vehicles. And I guess you want to read this resolution, or do you want to go over it with Tom first?
Go ahead and read it, Commissioner Becker.
So whereas on May 13th, 2021, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners adopted resolution 2158 to accept the American Rescue Plan Act grant award for the U.S. Department of Treasury in the amount of $4,078,421. Whereas on March 24th, 2022, the board approved resolution 22-36 to designate portion of an ARPA allocation for, among other projects, county vehicle positioning systems. And whereas the department heads responsible for designated projects were directed to secure necessary proposals and quotes for presentation and final approval of the Board of Commissioners in a manner consistent with the purchasing procedure policy. And whereas the Information Technology Director researched equipment needs and secured necessary quotes to implement a GPS for all non-law enforcement vehicles in the county fleet. Therefore, be it resolved that the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners accepts the quotes submitted by DPL Electronics and West Branch Automotive for purchase of GPS devices, associated equipment, and tracking subscriptions at a total cost not to exceed $8,300. Be it further resolved that the Information Technology Director is authorized to continue his work with the Ogemaw County Emergency Dispatch Authority to determine equipment needs, purchase, and install a dispatch compatible GPS in applicable law enforcement vehicles at a total cost not to exceed $50,000. Be it further resolved, the Board of Commissioners authorizes use of ARPA funds for the County Vehicle Global Positioning System project. Be it further resolved, necessary budget adjustments associated with this project are hereby authorized, and the chairperson of the Board of Commissioners is authorized to sign any necessary contracts, documents consistent with the resolution, subject to approval as formed by the county attorney. And then on the next two pages, there's a breakdown of what Tom has prepared for us. And Tom, could you come up and just explain a few of these things?
On the first page is the GPS cost, which I have pretty well shored up. For 15 transit vehicles, that includes 13 buses, their new van that they got, and their snowplow truck. We have 2 vehicles in building and zone, or building and electrical. We have 4 correctional facility vans, 1 new probate court vehicle. We got animal control, and then the building maintenance pickup. Which obviously, when a vehicle gets replaced, we can just move the GPS from one to the other. 24 devices, they were about 140 piece, but buying 24 at a time is $115, and then $39 shipping for the all the equipment. And then when we put it in at transit, we noticed something that when the driver gets in, they have such tight compartments that somebody's gonna hit it eventually. It's gonna get knocked loose. So I researched, they make a cable, it's a splitter cable. On the back of that port underneath the dash, we can get a Y cable, and it works out better in both ways. One, it's a little more obscured, and 2, they can still use the old. And do we need it for all the vehicles? I'm not sure. I guess as we go along, and I actually see each vehicle, and we can determine if we need a cable for it. And that's the 24 OBD splitter cables at 35 a piece, which I checked with West Branch Automotive, they can get them. And then down below is a breakdown of the frequency at which the device transmits all the information from the vehicle. And I think Tim did the resolution off the 30-second updates. It's not really that much difference in money for 3 minutes versus 30 seconds. So
I hate to throw this curve at you, but with the total vehicles, we do have one that's not on here because we don't have it yet. And that's the zoning equalization vehicle when it gets here. So we'll have to add one more.
not a problem, because this quote doesn't include the one that I already have.
Okay.
So, we got it covered. And then on the second page, this is the best ballpark figure I can throw out for you from 2:15 this afternoon to 5 o'clock tonight. Was 14 patrol vehicles. And just from experience of working with the sheriff's office, I believe that there's 8 that don't have external antennas, because as the Dewey equipment, the new vehicles got purchased and we equipped them, they got like a shark fin on them, and those are capable of the multi-transmission for the cellular and the GPS. Contract and install labor, everything in those patrol cars is done, I believe, up in Roscommon. I did not talk to this guy. I have no idea. I just threw $3,600 out there. I figured about $400 a vehicle, because these modems I can't mount. There's gonna have to be physical drilling done on the vehicle. And he's the one that does all the lights and everything else. So I don't know a number on that. I just figured what I might put into it. And then 4 of the vehicles don't have tablets currently. And actually, when you questioned that 18,000, I went back and I pulled the Telerad invoice, and we paid 12,800 for 4 tablets, so they're $3,200 a piece. So that is just the equipment total was 39,400. Now, with the modems in the patrol cars, they work a little bit differently than the modems in the non-patrol vehicles, because they require cellular service. And there's single SIM and dual SIM. So what that means is we can have a backup service. So in areas where there's no Verizon coverage and there is AT&T, that device will transmit over AT&T automatically. When they come back to Verizon, it'll switch back. Unfortunately, we're paying about $20 a tablet right now for our patrol cars through Verizon. I spoke with AT&T when they were here about their so ago, it's $40 for them. They're double. So if we want to go with dual SIM, because if they're up in an area where there's no Verizon coverage, it's not going to transmit.
And that happens a lot in Ogemaw County.
And unfortunately, like up in Foster Township in the northwest corner, there isn't either. So the polls are down below with the dual SIM and single SIM service. And then granted, the patrol vehicles do not need the tablets to make the GPS function work. But I guess in my eyes, I don't see the point in using a patrol car if it doesn't have a tablet. So it's probably not going to get used. I guess if the board is buying the GPSs with the ARPA funds, I would like to ask that you buy the 4 tablets for the patrol vehicles. And there's going to be an additional cost above that. But I didn't have a chance to get with the sheriff's office today, but that's going to be vehicle dependent because of the homes and everything. It's going to be different than what we paid in the past, probably.
Yeah.
The best number I can give was about 49,478 for the top figure, and probably close to about 27,000 for the low.
And once these things are installed, Tom, is there any kind of theft or anti
Tampering?
tampering system on it, where you would know if it was switched or taken out of a vehicle?
I wouldn't say that I would know about it, but obviously the tab in the patrol car wouldn't work if it. So I suppose they could unplug it, but I don't think it depends on where the guy that mounts the equipment puts it. If it's if it's not visible, then they wouldn't have access to it.
Okay. But if they wanted to like unplug it and maybe leave it somewhere so that they could take the vehicle somewhere without being tracked?
They can unplug it, but it'd be physically mounted to the vehicle.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not just gonna be laying there.
So you're gonna,
Computer
if
down.
they shut it down, it's not gonna be transmitting.
Correct.
So you should be able to see that, right?
Yeah, I mean, dispatch would. I wouldn't dispatch.
Well, I'm talking any vehicle.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that, I'll actually get alerts on the non-patrol vehicles. I can get an alert on that, where the ignition's turned on, turned off. The device is unplugged, plugged back in. On the patrol car vehicles, I won't get those alerts.
yes, but they're still running through 911 anyway.
Correct, yeah, I won't see the GPS information, so.
So total, we go towards the dual SIM service here. We're gonna, and then for the non-patrol vehicles and the patrol vehicles, we're looking at about 50, top end of it would be about $55,000. Am I, huh?
58.3.
Is that what you got? 58.3?
50,000 and then 80,300, yeah.
I had a rough estimate. And now, what is going to be the annual cost on top of this? This is,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, to answer your.
that's all right there, right?
Months, yeah, and I put it in here for a year.
So for a 12-month dual, it's just gonna be $6,000 next year. Oh, there's a
Actually, close.
67, huh?
You'll add those, if you're dual SIM, you're gonna add the 3360 and the 6718 together.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I didn't see this beforehand, so. Now, this information, is this recorded, like, how does it go to dispatch? Like, is it recorded somewhere so it can be tracked?
It's put in through Iosco County. It'll have the GPS gate server, so yeah, the locations can go back and be traced, dispatch can't though. They only see it live.
Over what period of time are you able to go back and trace it?
I don't know that information. I would think as far back as we've had the service, but I don't know the answer to that question. I can find out.
We think we want to make sure that we can, at whatever interval, we want to save that information for historical purposes. Whether, it's for possible millage or anything like that, we will be able to, or even just monthly reports.
Sure.
I think that part of this would be make it easier for the sheriff to be able to track his
Billing.
sheriff's times in different townships, to be able to say, hey, we've toured through your township this many hours, just to show the taxpayers that they're getting back what they're putting into it.
I'll be honest, I can't answer the reporting part of it. I haven't even looked into it yet. I'm sure it's probably possible, but I don't know that information.
Okay.
I know it's visible, like you can see where the vehicle's been, but as far as like pulling the report, like a geofence of Mills Township, I don't know if it can do that, but I know it logs the miles. Like I said, I never worked on the reporting part of it yet. I was more on the technical end of trying to get it going.
Gotcha. And thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Questions, commissioners? So this resolution, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Covered it pretty good, I said.
This resolution not to exceed $50,000 and not to exceed $8,300, right?
Correct.
Was there
So
a
move to approve this resolution.
motion, Commissioner Newbecker?
I'll support.
Commissioner Scott, any further discussion? And this is coming out of our ARPA funds,
Yes.
Yes.
as stated. What's the time period on this, Tom?
I have not gotten, so the non-patrol vehicles, probably after the first of the year, because I was telling him today, I don't have enough on my credit card to order the stuff. I did ask them if they had net terms. They said, yes, you got to fill out a credit application. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I would think the non-patrol vehicle, they're obviously going to get done sooner. I do not have the technical work done on the patrol side yet, because the transmitter, the modem for that's talking to Iosco County, it's visible at Ogemaw now, just got done yesterday. But I don't have the technical side of it for our network done, because not only is that a GPS, that's also a way for the patrol car to remotely connect back to here, which they can do now with a piece of software. But obviously, I don't want them to use that. I want the computer to be connected to that modem. And that's where I have been, that's where my holdup has been. I still don't have the power cord for the SA for the one that I brought. So I can't give you a timeline. I'm at the mercy of other people. I'm doing the best I can with
That's
what I
fair.
have to work with. But with the resolution, obviously, I'm gonna keep moving forward on it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Roll call vote. Thanks, Tom.
Welcome, thank you.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Ron Vaughn.
Yes.
Brad Newbecker.
Yes.
And carries item 9, administrator's report.
Start off with some news that will be news even to our Personnel and Policy Committee, and that is our candidate for Administrative Secretary, as of about an hour ago, accepted the position. She has asked for the board to consider allowing her to start at the 1-year rate rather than the start rate, in recognition of her past experience in a similar role. She's been primarily in the medical field, but definitely has performed many of the same functions that we're going to ask her to perform. 2 ways of going about this. If you wanted to act on that tonight, you could, or we could wait and go through the committee of the whole and you get a little bit more background on everything to do with the position. Again, refresh everybody's memories, look at the resume and make an informed decision that way. She's okay with waiting the 2 weeks. I'm certainly okay with it. But she's pretty firm that she does want the position.
I personally would like to wait until we
Okay, that's
discuss this further.
perfectly fine. And just so excited that she's actually accepted the position. I figured, well, let's go for it. But other news here, the Mesa Employer Advisory Committee met this morning. The big takeaway from that is after the first of the year, Mesa is actually going to offer life insurance, short-term disability and long-term disability. On the life insurance, maybe the most immediate positive for us is I'll compare that policy to the Unum policy that we have right now for our patrol deputies. And if this is better, we'll just switch over to Mesa and continue that way. Long-term disability and short-term disability, we're going to have a discussion about that probably about a year from now. And talk about that in terms of how that might work better for the county than having large accumulations of sick time. There's definitely, I think, more security even for the employees on the long-term side, because this could be an indefinite benefit depending on what type of disability we're dealing with. So we'll have more on that later. I don't know enough about the Mesa program yet to give you numbers and how that breakdown would work, but that's some, I think, exciting news out of Mesa that those options will be available to us. Got a little bit of a surprise in the mail on, I think it was Tuesday from, let's say it's USDA, I'm not sure, but they're based in Colorado concerning our deer park, and that we were in violation of a federal rule about another certificate that we had to have in order to operate the deer park. I know Breck had brought me a file a couple of weeks ago with some questions on that. We never were able to make much headway on that, but I can tell you today we have, and that I totally understand this now. I was able to contact that federal department. We are no longer in violation. We've put together the paperwork and sent that off in an email. Commissioner Scott helped with the number of deer that we actually have out there. That was the only question I had open. So any violation has now been cured, and that will be one more certification that will be added to my calendar for each year, so we make sure we don't miss it again in the future. This is one that I thought was taken care of when the state did their inspection back in October, but obviously it wasn't. So that's fortunately now taken care of. Had a meeting just before this one with the Michigan Association of Counties, and out of lame duck, which was very brief this year, there was a bit of good news on the liquor tax and convention facility bond distribution funds the counties receive pending the signature of the governor, which was all but assured. That revenue coming into the county will increase by 48%, starting potentially right after the first of the year. In terms of Ogemaw County, that's an additional $52,000 to the general fund. So that's definitely welcome news. That money is distributed right now. 50% goes to drug rehabilitation program. I can't remember the name of the outfit right off the top of my head. But they right now receive 50% of that distribution. That will go down to 40% when these funds are released, but no lower than our 2022 level. So we've got a couple of numbers that'll be in play, but in any event, it's all good news for the general fund in the end. Also coming out of lame duck is project that the next board will get to work with. We will be required to create and implement a materials management plan. This caught MAC off guard. They didn't think this was going to even come up on lame duck. Not only did it come up, it passed. This is a program that we'll be required to create that material management plan. If we don't do it, then the DNR will do it on our behalf. Right now, the question MAC doesn't have answered is how much the state will put into this program. But they did predict that whatever amount they choose will not be enough. So we'll have some decisions to make after the first of the year as to what direction we'll want to go with that. This is very reminiscent of the solid waste management plans that were created back in the 80s and I think early 90s. But that's the last time that those plans were put together. So we may as well be starting from scratch with newer technologies and newer approaches to material handling. Okay, so the board, you received an invitation that promised to bring to your attention tonight to the investiture of Mary Beebe as 82nd District Court Judge on December 20th at 4:30. This is going to happen in Roscommon. If you're interested in going, we have an RSVP deadline of December 13th. So if you want to go, if you want to get a hold of me, I'll go ahead and take care of the RSVPs. I understand Breck will be there.
The RSVP is just for the after, so they know how much food.
Okay.
Just,
Well,
she verbally told me that.
All right.
Yeah.
So after there is at Cut River Grill, a reception. So yeah, so if you want to go to that, then that's what the RSVP is for. Okay. So mark your calendar though, December 20th, 4:30 and the Roscommon County Building. You also received a card from Michigan Association of Counties. Signed by their staff. I can certainly pass that around if you're interested in looking at it.
I got one at home.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, double good for you.
Do you think I'm that important?
We have tentatively scheduled, and this came up today, tentatively scheduled February 9th is Kids Day. So that will be a program similar to what we did last year when the kids came up at the dais and participated with county government for a day. I say tentative, we won't know what that date is until the board meets in its organization session on January 5th and sets the calendar for the group. So that's been made aware of everybody who's involved. This is a group of kids that come from the Whittemore Prescott schools. They raved about that last year and are very excited about the chance coming back again in 2023. And I can speak for our department heads. I think we all had a great time that day with the kids and kind of showing off a little bit what we do. Getting them into areas that the kids don't typically get into, particularly like register of deeds and looking at some old deeds and understanding what cursive writing was all about. So all good all the way around. So that's the end of my report, unless there are any questions.
When's your department head meeting? When is it next?
Monday, the
Monday.
12th.
Okay. Any questions for Tim?
No, I don't have.
Item 10, elected officials and department head reports. Clerk?
I don't have anything this week. I'll be bringing stuff to you guys next week at the cow.
Sheriff? Come on up.
Good evening. I just got a couple things. You got the monthly reports, October, September. So you got the corrections reports. I just wanted to advise you folks that turkeys that we handed out a total of 70 of them. And 70 turkeys donated to law enforcement, and thank goodness we had a lot of help to get them out. So
Who donated?
what's that?
Who donated?
Walmart, Myers, Save a Lot, and Rogers out of Hale.
Okay. Rogers IGA, yeah.
Yep, that was nice. And also Shop with a Hero is next Thursday, it's the 15th at 6 o'clock. We're gonna probably have around 110 children.
Mm.
And then we're gonna, and right now we're working on getting Myers involved too. So possibly more children will be taking some advantage there too. So we're in the early stages of that, being so they're the late arrivals, and we're not gonna jip Walmart. Walmart's been great to us for many years, and we're not gonna put them on the back burner. So
Will anybody from the sheriff's office be at our meeting then? That's next Thursday in the evening.
I don't think so. We're gonna be busy there.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to talk about.
Yeah, well,
Huh?
That's what we're gonna have to talk about.
I've got a request.
Oh, we're gonna switch the time?
You were late to the party.
Hold on. Sheriff, do you have anything further?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we'll set a time they can come. Yeah,
This Saturday is a parade for West Branch. And myself and the undersheriff, we're gonna be introducing our new Tahoes. That's gonna be in service real quick. I'll be driving one, he'll be driving one, and we're gonna get them out there so people can see what their money bought them. And if you all know that our cars now do have Ogemaw County on it. It never had Ogemaw County on our patrol cars before. And it's on there now. I want people to know it's their cars they bought. Okay, so you'll start seeing Ogemaw County on. And also our truck is down in Mount Pleasant getting radios and everything else on. So we're gonna get that probably, we're hoping next week. We'll get that back up here, so. And I want to thank you folks for supplying these nice vehicles for our people. Put them in nice rigs for their safety. And we couldn't do it without you folks, so we appreciate it.
Questions for the sheriff? Oh, I'm sorry.
We've been driving some pretty rough stuff over the years, so. And it's nice that our guys are safe now.
now these last two that came from USDA, they're replacement cars, aren't they? Aren't they replacing something?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. We got rid of the Crown Vic that I used to drive. And we got rid of the old Explorer we had, so nutrition, we'll get some. I'm driving one of the older cars and the posse will be driving the other Tahoe or what's it called? Taurus, two Tauruses. Them are our oldest vehicles,
Are those the next
They
to be
both-
retired?
probably, but they both have 140,000 miles on them.
Mine's got 220.
I know, but you're not driving.
I'm important though.
Yeah, I know you are. You said that before at one of our meetings.
Yeah,
Anyway, them
I gotta keep telling you that.
are the oldest rigs we have, and my thought is to kind of shuffle them into the posse. That keeps the posse with, when they have their own vehicles, it's there on a lot for them. And that keeps them out of our patrol units that could be available if we need them in a hurry. And
So we're gonna-
basically what they're doing, they're directing traffic.
Are you gonna retire any vehicles this year? Or this
I would
in
like,
23?
I would like to keep what we got right now.
Well,
just-
that's fine, but I mean,
I would
so
like-
the answer is no, you're not retiring.
Yeah, the answer is no. As far as I'm concerned, I would like to have the two Tauruses go to our posse members because typically they need two vehicles for what they do. So and that will be their park for them to grab anytime they need.
Any other questions for the sheriff? Thank you.
We're keeping all these tires that we just took off the vehicles, we're keeping
Yeah,
them.
additionally,
until-
what we do, we put them back on the vehicle in the spring.
Okay,
You know, if they're good, roadworthy,
yeah,
we'll swap them
I
back.
hope for the truck, we just got them.
I hear you. Yeah, then we're gonna go back on the Tahoe.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Tom, do you have any updates for us? Come on up, sir.
Well, just one. I made a mistake.
Whoa.
Sitting here thinking.
Oh, I can't believe
I don't think it's a big deal though, but so the patrol cars transmit the GPS gate. And GPS gate is a minimum of 25 vehicles per month at $3 per vehicle. So that's 35 a month, 900 a year. But I don't think that that's really gonna alter the figure by that much. And I can always come back with that.
That's just not on here,
That's
correct?
not on there.
Okay.
I forgot about it because I'm sitting there. No, I was actually telling Tim today, I got about a 4-day survey I got to complete from Mike Bowers. Jeff's moving into the state police post eventually, and I don't think I told you guys this or not, but they cut the existing computer wire out of there. So there's a box about 6 inches up off the floor. They cut it at the floor. So they rendered the wiring useless. So I got a bunch of projects coming up. One of the things I'm going to be bringing to you guys is I want to roll over the jail onto our phone system. It'll be putting some fiber into this building to get better service over there. But right now with we switched from Telnet, or I'm sorry, not Telnet. It went from Synergy to AT&T on the fly, and I had to go to AT&T because it was already their lines. We're paying a pretty high rate over there. So I want to buy the phone and put them on our system. Be a heck of a lot cheaper per month. I did authorize our internet provider. I found out that right after we got our 100 meg service for what we're paying, they give 250 meg or 250 meg service. So I told them, go ahead. It never changed the rate. It never extended the term. So within the next week, I will better speed here.
Okay.
That's good. Other than that, keep them busy.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Jeff, I see you're on the phone. Do you have any updates for us?
Hold on, I got on mute now. I'm so sorry.
Jeff?
Can you hear me now? All right. Yeah, no, I don't have any updates. I just want to thank Tom for all the work he's doing to get us in over there. I think if everything goes right, maybe end of now we're kind of looking January sometime is when we're going to get over there. We'll see what happens. We'll play it as we go.
Thank you. Any other department heads or elected officials on the phone? Item 11, matters from the floor. Commissioners, any? Item 12, motions for adoption. Item 13, committee reports. Commissioner Vaughn.
I was to Hill Township the other night. It was basically business as usual. Wasn't really anything outstanding. It was a quick meeting, about 20-minute meeting. I was to Cummings Township. They had a discussion. They actually, Mr. Mike Bowers was there, and him and I had kind of put our heads together, and through a grant, we awarded them a, I can't even think what it's called. For CPR. ADT.
AED.
Yeah, AED. So I'm trying to think of, awarded them an AED for their hall. 'Cause they
Good.
rent the hall out. So there was also 2 donated, I believe, to Rose City Fire for their fire trucks. So that got done. And then Mr. Serbrook and I were at the district health meeting in Hale. Basically,
Talked a little bit about RSV, which is
yeah, it was that.
it's super serious for young children.
Right.
From what I understand, if you're 5 and younger, it can be deadly for them, and it presents like a common cold from the sounds of it.
It
So
was that monkeypox, and
monkeypox.
basically the flu was, the hospitals were filling up, and there was a lot of that. So that's about it.
Commissioner Becker?
Nothing. I did try to reach out to West Branch Township regarding that property, but I didn't hear back from them today. And I don't know if we heard anything back from the lawyers either.
No, yeah, but they contacted me too. They're pretty anxious.
Okay.
So it's gonna take probably the better part of January before all that paperwork can be even pulled together. So it's not something that's imminent, but as it progresses, I think it'll move through quick.
Commissioner DeVere, if I could add on to your, I talked to Jim Morris this afternoon.
Did you?
He was ringing the bell at Walmart after I was. They are super excited. They've got plans to take and start submitting grants to the DNR. They're already looking at making improvements out there, so they are hot to trot on it, so.
Well, I know our DDA has, and it sounds like West Branch Township Board is really excited.
Yep, they are.
So.
That it? Commissioner Serbrook?
As Commissioner Vaughn stated, I attended District Health number 2. I think they had what we already did. We had a special EMS meeting where we ratified their contract with the Teamsters Union. They got pretty substantial pay raises and they're keeping their Teamsters health insurance because believe it or not, it was actually cheaper than Mesa for the employees. Because of the group size, I'm sure is what the cost was. Attended several community mental health meeting. They always do a training for all the board directors. About a 45-minute training session and it was very interesting. Westbury City met Monday night. Big discussion there was the streetscape. They are going to extend, I would say, the lights when the remodeling project, when MDOT redoes the road, Houghton Avenue, they're going to take the lights, because right now, when the DDA goes to Valley Street, I believe it is, they're gonna extend those street lights because there really isn't anything past Valley Street, gonna go all the way to the city limits. That retaining wall that's on the north side between east of Valley Street, that brick, that's all crumbling down. They're gonna replace all that with another commercial grade brick, so good things are gonna happen in 23 and 24 from the sums of downtown West Branch. Attended the Commission on Aging meeting yesterday. Pretty much business as usual, but they are having their Christmas party on the 20th of December at the Commission on Aging from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So everybody's invited to that, whether you're a senior or not. In regard to the High Banks property, I made again yesterday another phone call, another voicemail. The Michigan Nature Association, like I said, the Michigan Nature Conservancy previously, it's the Michigan Nature Association. I still haven't heard back from their offices in Lansing, but in doing some research, this association's been around since 1952. They've got more than 170 nature sanctuaries in the state of Michigan, and they already have one here in Ogemaw County, adjacent to the Rifle River Recreation Area. So I'm just waiting for a call back. And I'll keep leaving voicemails for them if that's what it takes. So I don't know what their staffing is at their office or anything else. So it doesn't tell what their office hours are when you call. It just rings and says you've reached the Michigan Nature Association. Message. So that's it.
Commissioner Scott?
I attended a road commission meeting since the last, our last meeting. They awarded some logging contract for the property up at the gravel pit off Fairview Road. And they had to go back into closed session again. They're still hashing out their union contract up there. So of course, I don't have any details about that, but I did go to the West Branch City meeting that with Commissioner Serbrook, since that'll start up pretty regular next month. My townships, they don't meet till next week and the following week, because of the way that the first of the month started on Thursday this month. Well, that's it.
I attended just two since our previous, the Richland Township was Monday night. They went over their audit. Their audit seemed to go pretty well. They had some issues as far as, they had no power on election day. So they are at spending some of their ARPA funds on getting a generator. Because they've had some issues in the past with power being out over there while the hall is rented. They also updated their lighting in their parking lot there with their ARPA funds, which really needed to be done. That was really it there. I also, the village Prescott there, they're gonna have some new board members come next month. Not a whole lot there neither, and that's really it for me this past week. I missed Richland, or excuse me, not Richland, Logan. Wrestling meet last night. So I did miss Logan. So did you guys want to talk about a meeting for next week? What did I thought somebody was going to discuss that.
Yes, whatever. I'd like to see it move to 4:30 p.m. instead of 5:30. I will be sheriff and law enforcement at Shop of the Hero, and if we have it at 5:30, be here for about 15 minutes and I'll be gone.
I have a conflict because I've got EMS at 4:30.
I was hoping 5. What time do you get out of EMS?
It's usually half an hour. So I'd be here by 5. Sorry.
Yeah, 4:30 is too early for me. I could be here by 5, or we could move it to the 14th,
Says that.
Wednesday, the day before.
Wednesday.
That way nobody's got to hurry, or, I mean, it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys.
I'm out that day.
Well,
So
And I've got
West Branch Township.
West Branch Township,
Yeah, I got.
okay, so is 5 o'clock on the 15th, okay?
Just leave it at 5. When I gotta leave, I gotta leave.
Is that okay with you guys?
it's fine with me.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'll have to be out of here by 5:45 at least.
This is 45 minutes.
There's no way to do a morning meeting then.
Not for me, there's no,
All right.
my schedule's already full.
So 5, not 5:30.
Correct.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
General public comment. Is there any public comment in the room? Are you sure?
Come on.
Any public comment on the phone?
Come on, Mom.
I would like to address Commissioner Newbecker. I would like, thank you. for your time. I think you did a very good job. You did a lot of research and educating yourself and made some good educated decisions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, who was that? That was Mom.
Do I put you in the minutes as mom?
Can you say your name for the record?
Kathy David,
What township are you from?
Logan.
Any other,
The rest. She's
Any-
the wrestler, huh?
any other public comment on the phone? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion with support to adjourn at 6:08. All in favor, say yes. Opposed, motion carries.